In George Orwell's 1984, information manipulation was at the center of a dystopian reality. The party utilizes military propaganda to shape public perception and a sense of fear. The slogans, posters, and constant dissemination of false information contribute to the party's ability to maintain a totalitarian regime. In the United States, the current style of military propaganda shares eerie parallels with Orwell's vision. This quote encapsulates the twisted logic employed by the party through doublethink, where contradictory ideas are embraced simultaneously. In the context of military propaganda, these slogans maintain a state of war, control the narrative, and secure the party's dominance. Doublethink, as defined in George Orwell's 1984, symbolizes the capacity to hold contradictory beliefs simultaneously. In the context of American propaganda, it reflects the public's ability to accept conflicting military narratives, demonstrating the influence of propaganda in shaping public perception. Orwell's vision demonstrates that military propaganda is a very effective and dangerous tool. His warnings echo through today's society, and the United States' use of military propaganda parallels that in 1984. Military propaganda is everywhere, quietly shaping our views since World War I. The United States has used various forms to spread it, often flying under the radar. This under-the-surface influence mirrors Orwell's warning about hidden manipulation. From creating fake social media accounts to sneaky appearances in video games, propaganda adapts, proving its lasting impact. Since the beginning, military propaganda has shifted and found its way into different parts of society, impacting how we see things without us even realizing it. Now, moving into the 21st century, social media takes center stage. Almost everybody you know is on some form of social media, contributing to a vast pool of content. Social media becomes a huge amplifier for military propaganda, especially on platforms like TikTok. On TikTok, influencers subtly mold the behavior of the younger generation. The influence on TikTok might not be super obvious, but it's there, hidden beneath the ever-changing trends. Soldiers sharing experiences through vlogs or creating military-themed edits subtly mold the perspectives of the unsuspecting audience. But TikTok isn't the only place for military propaganda. Older folks tend to use other platforms like Facebook, and the military becomes accustomed to using traditional advertisement methods there. The military uses familiar approaches which reach older individuals and help them gain support for the armed forces. Military recruitment techniques also add another layer to the depth of this propaganda's influence. Advertisements flood social media platforms, targeting individuals of all ages. This multifaceted approach aims to sway public sentiment towards a pro-military stance. A peek behind the scenes reveals a report from The Guardian exposing the creation of fake social media accounts, a sneaky spy operation that instills their imperialistic ideals. The government spy operation adds another layers to the manipulation of social media, accentuating the far-reaching impact of military propaganda. The influence of military propaganda also expands beyond the digital world into different forms of media. From movies to television and video game, blockbusters like Transformers, 13 Hours, American Sniper, and Top Gun collaborate with the military entertainment complex. TV shows like SEAL Team and The Terminal List, along with video games like Call of Duty and Homefront, are also made in association with the military entertainment complex. The effectiveness of this form of propaganda is highlighted by the 1986 film Top Gun, triggering a staggering 500% increase in naval recruiting. And a survey taken by USNI News further underscores the impact, showing that at least 25% of new military recruits acknowledges the influence of television shows and movies on their decision to join the armed forces. Military propaganda is everywhere. It's on social media. It's in the movies you watch. You don't even realize it. So many people are being brainwashed into believing that the military is awesome and cool, and people don't even know it. The United States not only spreads different types of propaganda, but they also lie to make themselves look better. There are many different times when the United States has lied to make themselves look better, including, but not limited to, the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, the CIA torture report, Pat Tillman's death, and the killing of Osama bin Laden. This form of media manipulation is undeniably dystopian, drawing clear parallels to the world depicted in George Orwell's 1984. As we went over before, the military has placed propaganda on every corner of the internet. children are falling for blatant and subtle propaganda, becoming influenced into being fans of the military. This is extremely dangerous and causes huge problems. A trend that I've noticed is that on the internet, young people watch pro-military content, and the more they interact with this content, the more they see of it. If they constantly see content in favor of the military, then they would disregard any anti-military ideals. The internet makes it so much easier for ideas to be transferred to hundreds of thousands of people. Through the internet, people will become less open-minded and brainwashed. The government has realized this and used it to their advantage, influencing our younger generation into believing in them, allowing for the United States government to have complete control over its citizens through media manipulation and propaganda. There are also various trends that I have noticed in media. The citizens of the United States watch movies and become entranced with the idea of the military being awesome. A lot of anti-war movies are also released, and I see it as a cycle. A person living in the United States watch a pro-military movie and think it is cool, and then later on, they'll watch an anti-war movie and think it is good and that war is bad. This is a perfect example of doublethink. The people in the United States believe in two contradictory ideas that are being presented them. They are too busy being entertained, loving, and hating that they just blindly follow what the government says and don't think about anything else. The government knows what they're doing when they present conflicting narratives to distract their people. The government knows that a mindless population is a loyal population, and they will maintain complete control, eerily similar to the party in Oceania. I have noticed another crucial trend related to children. The children that are being influenced by the military propaganda they see presented to them through entertainment and social media begin to wholeheartedly believe in these ideals. The government has used propaganda so well that children believe in the government and the military more than they believe in their parents. Today, a large population of people in the younger generation would be totally willing to sell out their parents to the military. This parallels 1984 as in the world of Oceania. I am predicting this to only get worse. Social media doesn't seem to be slowing down, and military propaganda is only being spread more and more. More military movies and video games are coming out every year. The United States is going to continue down this path. If we don't act soon, it's all going to go downhill. Within 50 years, almost everybody can be completely brainwashed, and the United States will almost completely resemble the world of 1984. The issue of military propaganda and media manipulation in the United States might seem like a glaring issue with no solution in sight, but there are some steps Americans can take to fix this. First of all, awareness is key. So many Americans don't know that they are constantly being manipulated by the government. The people who are aware of this need to spread it. If the citizens of the United States understand that they are being manipulated, it will be a lot easier for them to avoid this. We should also monitor children's access to social media and make sure why they won't get exposed to dangerous things at a young age. While military propaganda is a huge issue, we need to take small steps to move our country in the long run. Truly just knowing about it and telling other people is the best way you can do this. Media manipulation was at the center of George Orwell's 1984. The party used propaganda to manipulate their society and maintain a totalitarian rule. The use of propaganda in 1984 is eerily similar to the use of military propaganda in the United States. In today's global arena, the United States holds a commanding position, crafting its narrative by revising historical accounts to present an idealized image. Through influential avenues like social media, entertainment, and blatant lying, the U.S. government employs military propaganda to assert control over its population. The relentless use of military propaganda has over time effectively shaped the perspectives of the American people, resulting in a collective form of indoctrination. Orwell's clear vision emphasized that military propaganda is a powerful and risky tool. If not controlled, it can completely change how a society thinks, distorting reality and taking away people's individual freedoms. However, a glimmer of hope emerges through awareness. By recognizing how much propaganda affects us and taking steps to resist it, we can free ourselves and aim for a better society. Now is the time to act. Break away from manipulation, question what we're told, and work together for a society where the truth wins over propaganda and people can think for themselves.